Shimmy.
It's a shimmy song. I know all the words.
Do you know this song?
I do.
This is like late 80s European synth dance music.
Smell Seagram's golden wine coolers.
Bartles and James.
That's right, Bartles and Tropical. Oh my god. I saw
What
that.
happened to those old men?
Where's Bartles and James?
Bartles and James. You know you're on the dance floor.
Yeah. With my Capri 120. It was the 90s or 80s.
We're at the chorus. Wait a minute. Let me get to the chorus. Hold on. It's all that like European. Bah, 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 bah.
Oh! Me and John. Why do I feel?
Yeah, that's what it was. Everybody.
Bartles and James getting all sticky from the pineapples, and the umbrellas hitting you in the face. All my sequins.
Like, oh,
listen,
I meant all the balloons and confetti were falling from the ceiling.
There's so much anti-back needed. I don't understand how the 80s did. Why did it not come out like
right? We should have had COVID back then
so,
for sure. I mean, like so
like,
much.
Literally, we should. We
God.
We did have that other disease. We did have disease.
Yeah, but that didn't come from dancing like that unless you were naked.
That's how it started. That is
naked, then that's how it happened. First of all, is this man texting you already? Help me, Jesus.
My husband, I can't. He's right there. He's right there. And listen, we're having like dog apocalypse. I don't know what's happening.
You can't say a term like that before I start having
a full dog apocalypse.
You better put that thing on silent. He's going to ding.
It's not my fault. Just everybody, just Freddie is coming a little bit late. Everybody just, when you hear the ding, say, "Oh, Freddie." But I can't.
An angel got its wings. That's what it's just kind of what it is now.
Dog got its paws. Listen.
So why dog apocalypse? What's happening?
It's a dog apocalypse. So many people are like, can I mean, I guess it's Mother's Day. I don't know. So many people are like,
Sunday.
Can I bring my dog? Can I bring dogs? Can I come with my neighbors? And we're like, no. And then bringing the dogs off. Why are people, don't be worried about my dogs. I'm almost getting offended when they're like, oh, I think they'll be good in your house. I'm like, I don't feel safe with your dog.
Yeah, that's the issue. So what is the deal here? Are you like, is this like major business at this point? Because I think people would be fascinated to know, like, this is one of those homegrown businesses.
That's right.
That, you know, and you some people think about like dog walking. Here you're doing dog sitting, there's dog grooming, and people drive around with the van and, you know, do this mobile. Is it a viable business?
Yeah. So the way it works, and we started doing board and train. So we're talking about $500 a day. At a minimum, $500 a day. Which is a lot for like walking up, you know, for the like level of care. We give a higher level of care. But there's a sacrifice that's
I don't get that level of care. I can tell you that right now per day. I will 100% confirm that.
Now, to be clear, Todd and I are here, and so we're with the dogs, and our home has like every ounce has blankets over it, and we have to spring clean and take everything down like the level. And you know me.
Clean.
I cannot.
Yeah, I know.
And I have this one space, and I swear to God, I'm like, if you put anything dog related in this square, it's over. This is a no dog zone.
Yeah. What I mean, it reminds me of like the over the top kind of kid friendly home where like you can't exist. I can't open a drawer in this house because everything is
That's right.
child proofed.
That's right.
And you're just like,
That's right.
I appreciate that we're protecting the kid. I can't get into this cabinet. I can't get in.
They can get into every cabinet, and it's always like, oh, Jess Miller Merrill and her daughter's coming to stay over in the weekend. I was like, I hope you like dogs. We're gonna have.
Oh, how fun!
I
That's
know.
so fun.
Her daughter, right? It's her prom.
And so, why are they coming to
Homeschool
your
prom, and it's for the regions.
Oh, I see. I see. Yeah, yeah. That's awesome.
Yes,
That's
us
so
and the 13
fun.
dogs, and it's like, it'll be fun.
Welcome. Bring your own taser because that's what I'd be doing. Everybody's dog's coming over to me. Zap, zap, get away, zap, zap.
Oh, but I'm telling you, it gives me the ability to build software and take on clients and projects a little more casually because the world has gone cuckoo for COVID.
Well, you ought to do like get Petco to be a client of yours, or you know what I mean? Like Purina, like figure out ways to get. I'm serious.
I know.
You know how I am. I'm dead serious.
But you also know this will take schedule and consistency, and not everybody follows the rules.
Listen, your husband cannot be involved with any of this. I'm talking to you.
My one employee fired.
Fired. How are you late in your own house? How is it possible?
Listen. Yeah. There's a lot. I found out a lot of things are possible. I had no idea were possible.
God, while we do work from home, I do need you to put pants and underwear on.
No.
Both, actually. You can't walk around.
The thing is, literally, I ran outside to get a dog. We get this one dog, 5 a.m. on Fridays. I'm running out. It rained. And he's like, stop. He literally was slept in all clothes because he was ready. Because he knew.
I mean, I appreciate him so much. That elevator ain't ringing penthouse, though. That's for sure. It ain't going there. So close. So close.
It's not.
Hey, I want to make sure that we say this morning because our producer will be disappointed. Welcome. We have all kinds of platforms activated this morning. There's been some updates.
Yes!
They actually paid for someone to actually do some development on their software. So that's really nice. And so we are live on Instagram. We are live on Twitch. We are live all over the place now. So if you're a gamer and you're watching this will be a breath of fresh air.
This will be a full breath of air.
Yeah, we are not going to pew pew. We're not shooting each other and all the things, right? So welcome. We're so glad to have everybody here. You can get back to your regularly scheduled,
Go stop and play our game, HR Trail. They can play the game.
The QR code is in the corner. Yes.
That would be the most fun. And if I had my phone, I would scan it right now.
Retro is where it's at. So please scan, enjoy our game. It is free to play. We don't charge any subscription for it. Those of you coming to us on Twitch today, you know you're paying out of the pocket. Tips, all kinds of things. You don't need to do that with the HR Trail. Right. However, you may die of dysentery. Otherwise, it's a fun game.
I think you're going to die of dysentery. Who's on your
Hey, I want to make sure, too, he hasn't been on in a while, your boyfriend. I don't know that I've seen him.
No, he hasn't been here. I think maybe it's because I had to finally say I had a crush. I think that's what it is.
Did you finally tell him?
I did that one day. Yes. I was like, I can't. Because, I also like have a weird version of Tourette's where I just start saying stuff. And so I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe
and blah, blah, blah. And David's like, I gotta go. I gotta go. My wife is calling me. Bye.
Right. And I'm like, what? Huh? Come back. Come back.
Come back. Hurry up and put that Speedo on, but come right back.
It's like, do you want to talk about payroll? And I'm like,
okay.
No.
I got dollar bills. So I do want to welcome everyone. Welcome everyone on these new platforms. We're very excited that we can integrate as easily at this point as we've been wanting to do for the last 5 years. Wonderful. Great.
We're there. Broke and alone.
I'm taking you off my wall. It just reminds me, remember that commercial, she had everybody's picture up taped to the wall.
You. I don't
think that's how that works. I don't think that's how.
So we started doing spring cleaning this week, going through the vents.
Lots. I did my mattress flips and everything. Yep.
Yeah, you got to do your, seasonal clean. And if you don't,
I wonder if people do that. Do you think a lot of people do, or are we just so old school that way? So if you do either I have names for it. Now I'm really going to let you into the Baldino mind, and I apologize. In the spring, it's a swing. In the fall, it's a flip. That's what happens with the mattresses in the Baldino house. So in the spring, we swing it, the top becomes the bottom. Yes. And in the fall, then I flip the whole thing over, and then so I'm doing all the things.
Do you sing it?
My partner in life just steps back and lets me do my thing. She thinks I'm an incredible weirdo, but I do my thing.
She does.
You flip or swing mattresses, and do you do that? Yeah, you flip.
I don't think we swing. I don't know. I have to ask. Todd probably does, and was like, "Oh,
had swings. Ain't no question about that."
Hey,
ain't no question about that.
I am horrified.
If you all, I'd love to see that in the chat. I know this is a different kind of polling, but do you? Some people grew up that way. Do you flip mattresses or swing mattresses? Some people didn't grow up that way, and so it seems very odd to them that that's what people do.
Listen, I've met people, I'm horrified, that have like, oh, I've had this mattress for like 20 years.
Oh, how long do you keep your mattress?
You can only do it for 10 years.
That's it, 10? Yeah, I think that's reasonable. I mean, my parents had them like 25 years. Like,
and they're expensive. They're ridiculous. Now you have to. Before, you could keep a box spring for 100 million years because the springs were good and the material was good. Now I think it actually there's a number of bounces where before it just goes bing, like if you have the springs or the,
and that's if you have a box spring. Yeah. Look at how many beds. It's just platform. There's no box spring at all now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that wasn't a thing when we were kids. Everybody had a box spring and mattress. That's how it works.
Now they don't have box springs.
Yeah, they don't. It's really interesting. So if you're a flipper, if you're a swinger, we'd love to hear from you. So we have a timely, albeit sensitive topic that we're chatting on today, and that has to do with keystroke tracking. And we saw the Meta put out some info about how they're going to be watching their folks and the work they're doing. So I know you feel some sort of way. I know that.
I mean, the thing that makes me really concerned. So, as you know, my oldest is on tour right now, right? With an artist that's based out of Vienna. They're a DJ. They've been performing. So let's just say my kid calls right now. If my kid calls and I'm in the office, it doesn't matter. Like I'm picking up. If I'm picking up, let's say, and I know some of you know that your kid, if you don't answer your desk phone, they're going to call your cell phone. Or if you don't answer your cell phone, they're going to call your desk phone. I pick up, I talk to them. They tell me, here's the concert schedule. This is where I'm at. We're working on a video. Next thing you know, it's like freaking TMZ. Like they own all of the information and they didn't say that they could be recorded. Or I'm talking to my doctor about what's going on or an appointment. I'm more worried about the things that they don't need than the things that they need.
100%. And I don't know how you sort of distill between work-related and non-work-related when life now, especially for distributed workforces, life now is, if you're working from home, you're home. So the same way that you might get a call from your physician at 11 a.m. is the same way that you might respond to an email at 7 p.m.
Right.
Everything sort of is blended at this point. And so it's high distrust when you have to say or come at it from more of a punitive standpoint, like, hey, we need to manage and watch what you're doing, and check keystrokes and check pace of responses. We've got software that'll see how quickly it is before you respond to an email that comes in, and like we're real, and we do it for the sake of like analytics. That's what we say.
That's the thing that makes me, for people, like, I'm neurodiverse. There's other people that are neurodiverse. Like, I have to study and research and chew on information. If I'm walking around pacing, looking randomly, I'm thinking, I'm trying to put it all together. I may not respond. It's like I might write it down, right? And people say, oh, well, you weren't on your computer from this time to this time. What if I'm listening to an audiobook?
What like, if you are? Right. Or watching a webcast like this, and you're like, taking some notes and learning some things, and you're like, oh, I'm in trouble now because I was learning.
And this is actually happening. Like, I didn't even know. So I went into a Zoom call with John Sumser last week, and he goes, you didn't come to the meeting. Your AI note taker did. I said, what AI note taker? And it said, and I have no idea when I downloaded what package it was a part of. It automatically goes and records. I have no idea what it's recording and where it is. I was like, I didn't do that. It's like, no, literally it says you did that. And I have no way.
I know.
Just cancel
it. It's scary.
Where it came from.
Every's extreme. The majority of meetings that I have with external people, not my staff, but external representatives from organizations, when I go into the meeting, their AI note taker is waiting for me to let it into the meeting. And let me just make sure I say this to everybody so they hear it. If you're calling John Baldino, he is denying your AI note taker every time, because I don't ask for this.
That's right.
And your note taker comes 5 minutes before you do. What? I don't want to have a conversation with your note taker while I'm waiting.
I love Dion. We haven't seen you in so long. Hi, Dion.
Hi, Dion. Hi, Jasmine. Hey, Amy. Sorry, we're seeing some folks. Sorry. We jumped right in. So sorry.
I'm curious too about like separate work and personal, but is there a difference as soon as you look at your Gmail on your work phone, right?
Yes.
And I think the other part that makes me nervous is like those of us that are on the broad spectrum, like think a little bit differently. We might do work a little differently. And for someone to see that and be like, I don't think that's the right way to do it, or you're doing it the wrong way. Like, how far are we going to regulate? And the different levels, we have different ages, we have different comfort levels of software.
I want to make sure I do it justice, because I don't want to sort of just be narrow. I'm reading to you what Zuckerberg put out, right? And it came through the CTO, Andrew Bosworth. The employees were told that Meta will be recording every keystroke and mouse movement on their work computers. Now, touch screen, I assume, or external mouse. And employees asked how to opt out, and the CTO responded by saying, that's not an option.
You said your mom.
Period. And so connected to this, some other research was done, and 78% of employers now use some form of worker surveillance, is what it's being called. 78%. The monitoring software market is projected, bless you. The monitoring software market is projected to more than double to 1.4 billion by 2031. So in 5 years. 42% of monitored employees plan to quit within the year. Well, what you quitting for? You're just going to go to another company that's doing the same thing? Where are you going?
And now they're going to send your keystrokes over to your new company.
That's part of your VOE, your verification of employment, right? Is the name and dates you worked and title and how many keystrokes you average.
And how many keystrokes. I was like, are we going to have to go back to keyboarding class? I think we might.
I mean, I'm down with that. But it is I mean, so again, just giving you some initial data.
I'm
A
going to send
dashboard that counts keystrokes is not leadership rigor, is what this person responded with. That doesn't show leadership because I have a dashboard to say, look at how well these people are performing by keystrokes.
Sent Jamie, I just sent you something in the Teams chat. It's a little, when we're researching this topic.
You don't have to open it up, Jamie.
Open it. Open it.
It might be
a little infographic just in researching it, because I thought it was the other part of this is we already are paranoid and are living in an uncertain times. We already know that psychological safety is down. We just talked about it last week. We were lucky enough to hear Amy Edmondson, and it doesn't mean that you feel safe, but we know that like psychological safety means the ability of being able to say that I don't feel safe, but they already feel that. And now 58% is coming back. 56% of employees feel anxiety. I know, it's so cute.
It is cute. It's like, it's all like, you know, sweet. And but what it's telling you is
terror. Look at it hit him in the head. The monitoring hit the little baby in the head. Like,
but in some ways it makes sense because you're treating your staff like babies.
That's right.
Right?
Yes, that's right.
That's what it is. Jamie, thank you. That was a great graphic. Look at you.
I mean, like, boom, boom. I loved this topic, and just full transparency, I'm usually so slow in response when we talk about what we're going to talk about. I was like, yes, I was excited about the topic. There's just so much.
I mean, this is really, and Jasmine is cracking me up with my nails and how I type. I'd be fired every single day. I'd like to know, you know, it's a really interesting question. So when I backspace, when I delete, does that take away strokes?
I hope not, because I'll be at negative. What if I'm at negative?
Because in some ways, I know, Jasmine, you're being funny, but I will say in some ways, though, Jasmine may look more performative based on these metrics, because if she struggles in typing or her nails or whatever it is, Jasmine, and you have to backspace, delete a bunch of stuff because you messed it up or whatever, so you could look like you're doing more because you have more keystrokes than the person who types more efficiently, right? More expertly. That is fascinating to think about.
I also get really nervous about, like, we haven't been able to figure out the internal bias. Like AI, everyone started and was like, oh my God, it's like a computer, so it's fully neutral. We know that's not true. And people are having a hard time understanding that AI is learning and is creating its own bias based on what it's learning. That's what it's supposed to do. Like, don't at me, bro.
Yeah.
And so is it going to be the same throughout the company? Are we going to have personal models on what the expectation is? Like, how do we make that determinant? The human in the loop, is that HR or IT? So picture this for me. We go through the process, as we know it goes.
1954.
1987. New Order in the background. I'm just picturing. Every time I do this, it's always my.
Because you got
120.
My cigarette.
I was talking last week, and someone was like, "You were smoking," and I was like, "Girl, don't you know?" Everybody, it was like, if your parents didn't smoke, you started smoking when you were like 12. If your parents smoked, you had it at 3, and you never went back. Like you
never went back. Marlboro Reds.
Right,
2 packs Marlboro Red.
Right, that's right. But like, I am always look at this.
I know he's foolish. This man, foolish.
But I mean, I just don't know. Like, so picture this, Sicily. IT's already done all the things, dotted the I's, crossed the T's to make this comfortable software for the whole organization. Collaborated with HR. We have great compliance and regulation. then, because this is what's happening with AI different than any other time in software. They used to, because we've gone to a SaaS model, and we used to go to a server model. We used to have a server model. Now it's like a SaaS model. They send an email to the full company and says, hey, we have an upgrade. It's always free. You open your computer, right? They've implemented something in the background. You click OK, because it's a company you work with. Boom. You just expose your whole company to everybody's chat one at a time.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know we weren't going to do that. Oh, we didn't tell anybody. We gave you the option. Because it's always masked as something else. The best idea is that ring alarm when they were like, oh, we'll help you with your dogs. We'll just look at your house at a camera. And when we see a dog, and it does do that, if you have a ring alarm, it'll say animal.
Yeah.
But then it's like, without realizing, oh, wait, it's just like continuously monitoring all the time.
All the time.
All the time.
And interconnected with all of your neighbors, and then you've got, this whole this like heat map of surveillance happening in your neighborhood, in your city.
That's right.
And we do it under the the guise of, and I'm not saying it's all bad. It's the give and get of these things. Some of it has been really helpful in finding. To use the ring thing, to finding criminals and awful things that have happened, and being able to track someone when they run from place to place. Like, you can connect the dots with these interconnected surveillance systems. I do understand that. But at the same time, it's like, but when it's not about catching a criminal, what's happening? What are you watching? Everybody knows I'm old. And so when I grew up in a row home in Philadelphia, and we had neighbors that watched like everything you did. And they were able to tell, and they would, if you ran into them on the street, they were like, oh, how's your mother? I saw she came over the other day. How's she doing? What you watching my house for? To see when my mother came over, right? But it was, we used to call them like news boxes or, busybodies or whatever. Now we pay to work at establishments to have a busybody. Mrs. Kravitz from Bewitched be involved. You know what I mean? Like, you're paying for Mrs. Kravitz now as a software, and it's annoying to people because you're like, give me space. I don't know how we're going to solve for it. I don't know how
we're going to solve for it. And I don't know what the use case was for how we determine there's such vagueness. Like in the UK, you have to tell people, and you can't do it without them being aware unless you suspect criminal activity. Now, what is that criminal activity that you're suspecting, right? Who gets to determine like a real threat? There was a video, and a woman said she couldn't find her lesson plan, and she lost it. It got lost in her Google whatever. And it was like, this kid broke my lesson plan. I don't know if I should fail him or just blow this whole school down until I get my lesson plan back. 2 hours later, the police are there.
Oh, yeah.
And she's an intern, and it's a group text like on Snapchat that she sent to her boyfriend and her roommate, right?
Yes.
It went through Snapchat. Snapchat monitors conversations.
Absolutely. It's
called
scary.
The FBI. The FBI called the police. They came to her. She was like, it was a joke. And they were like, okay, we have to arrest you.
Yes.
We're taking you to jail. She was like, for a joke? No, we're taking you to jail for a terrorist threat.
That's right. That's right.
And so we are getting to the point where it's a police state, and we have to, like, these are the reasons, especially with this level of invasive technology, you can't not talk about politics at work when you're trying to figure out if you can be monitored or not and what they can do with the information, y'all.
Well, here's now I'm going to come out at the other side. I'm totally with you.
Yeah.
Part of the problem is that as a society, we're so litigious
That part.
that we've got cases where I'll use that example. I'm not quoting anything specific. I'm sure they're out there, but I'm using that as an example where someone said something like that, like what that teacher said. Everybody sort of like laughed, let it go. That's right. And then that teacher snaps.
That's right.
Something happens. The parents sue the district.
That's right.
Everybody's money everywhere. So now the district is like, we ain't going through that again. So anytime anybody says anything, we're going to enact, the criminal proceeding. That's a terroristic threat. I don't know if I've ever shared here, but we had friends years ago, friends whose son during recess on the playground, they were playing cops and robbers. My man, this is what he had for his weapon. School district took him right in to be evaluated after recess, suspended him for 2 days because he was making a threat, pretending to, and he's the only one who exposed his gun. This was it, everybody.
Was it because he pointed it at somebody?
Or pointed at somebody, pew, pew,
Yeah. But I'm
so, yeah, by the way, 8 years old. And so had to go and be evaluated and 2 days out of school suspension. And here we go. You're back.
You're here. I see you.
But this guy, and again, please don't at me. I'm not trying to make light of horrible things that happen in our schools. I know that. But we just can't legislate in the middle. We go to the extremes. It's like everybody's now going to be monitored. Everybody now is going to be subject to this thing. Tell me what this 8-year-old is doing, right? Like, help me to know. We're just terrified because of everybody sues everybody. So people don't want to lose that money. It's awful.
Bad. I mean, I don't think you can get far away from it. I've been surprised on how I've told people before I use granola and I record, and most of the time my phone is in my back pocket, upside down, backwards.
You got to tell people. Not everybody. I know that some of us know what granola is. She's not talking about food.
Is not the bar. Granola is an AI note-taking tool. The reason that I like it is it connects to your calendar, connects to every meeting. It puts things in folders and allows you to then ask questions, go back. What do I need to do this week? What did I say I would do last week? All of these different things. It records all of the conversation. But I'm shocked that it doesn't matter if it's in my back pocket. I could keep it in my purse. It is clear as a day. I'm sitting in the back. I can't hear it because there's a rattle in the freaking thing. And you can ask questions. This is where I love technology. While it's recording. Remember back in Zoom, in order for you to work with it, you had to wait, get it to upload, clear. No, you can do it while it's working.
Joe is here. He'll tell us what it used to be like. Joe, good morning, Joe. We're so glad to see you.
Oh, where were the adults?
Where were the adults? Well, it's hard too because I have worked with organizations, both internal practitioner and now in the consulting world that I've been in for 14 years. And you'll sit with hiring managers and department managers, and they will say, I didn't know that someone couldn't do that. I know what the policy is, but I didn't realize that was part of that policy. And there are moments genuinely where I'm with the manager going, I totally understand that. I see that. I know why you didn't think that was the thing. And so Joe's point about, you got to set those expectations. Give people examples of what it is. I'll come back to schools. Remember the dress code policies at school? What you can, how long your skirt had to be.
God, this or that. Shorts.
Yes. There was a school district that did they did the whole policy in pictures, and they had students be the models. And so they had acceptable, unacceptable, like right next to each other above where the policy then was. So if it was about how long shorts would have to be, they said the policy underneath, and the pictures above were not appropriate. And they were showing the difference. Yeah. And I thought, first of all, it's great getting the kids involved. Like if they were not forced to, but the kids got involved. And I'm a visual learner. Don't you think I know what's? Do you think I know what 4 inches means? Like from a hemline? I don't. You're walking. I have no idea.
Most men don't know anything about inches. But I will tell you.
I only deal in feet, baby. Go ahead.
Oh! I only deal in feet. You should see a doctor. Ah!
There you go.
Stupid.
Oh,
every time me and John spend more than 5 minutes together, I'm like, why are we friends? I don't
why are we
why we're friends. But during COVID, sweet baby TJ was like failing ROTC. I was like, how do you fail ROTC at home? And he was like, we had to send videos of our workout, and I'm not doing it.
Oh.
You remember? He's like,
yes.
And I was like, I'm not going to make you do it because that's
no.
weird. That's weird. It's weird. But I mean, but what could happen with those things, right?
Yes, I think that the reality of this sort of I know. I think the reality of this monitoring, right? This monitoring software. And what did you send in the chat? Like quick half a dozen companies that are doing it now? Is that right? Is it something like that?
I'll put them in
the and you know, even some of the ways in which it's put together, like the messaging around these products. And this is not about shade to those products. They're doing what they're being asked to do. Like that's what it is. But it's funny to me, and I think Dion might have said it earlier, and I'm sorry where the chat is going. Performance. What is it that we're aligning by activity to performance? I remember moons ago, and we still have some companies doing this, where you held people accountable in a particular sales team for calls made per day. You would track how many calls someone was making per day. That was its own metric. It wasn't necessarily connected to how many people did you get on the phone, how many proposals did you put together, how many deals did you close. Those were other metrics for sure. But we did care about how many calls they were making a day. And I would say to the director of sales, tell me how you feel about the person who hits the goal of 150 calls per day with 0 deals versus the person who makes 15 calls a day and closes 2 deals. Tell me how you feel about those people. And it was fascinating because they would say the 150 calls a day person is obviously working it and not afraid of the phone. They didn't close anything, so I could work with them on closing language, how to move the deal forward. The person that did 15 calls but closed 2, I'm more inclined to think if they would just extend themselves, go from 15 to 150, they must be good at closing. They should be doing more volume so that they, close more deals. And it was fascinating because I'd say, so at the end of a week, when you have one person who closed 10 deals, if they made 15 calls a day and closed 2 per day, somebody closed 10 deals, and the other person who made 150 calls a day and closed 0, closes 0 by the end of the week, you're still going to feel some sort of way about the person who closed 10 deals that week. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
And it was like, I guess I kind of am.
I like that. Listen, I'm from that school. When I sold software, it was 250 calls a day, or
is that what it was? 250
hours of talk time.
Okay.
And the way that I felt about it, and I used to get frustrated even with my own sales teams. It's like you're not giving anybody structure. The challenge is more of what am I able to, what am I doing in order to meet the quota and the sales that are going to be there? The person who makes the 150 calls a day is going to be close. The person who's making 4 calls is not close.
No, right.
And on average, that's how many dials it is a day. But now you say, work harder, and people don't know what it is. Maybe it's not dials. Maybe it's additional talk time. Maybe
yes.
But what I don't want to see is, well, Sally sits, types more with her left hand if she could use her right hand, or this one doesn't make eye contact. All of those scary AI interview engagement when it's like looking at things like voice tone or, eye twitches, or that's the stuff that freaks me out. I'm recording.
I was trying to close a deal. Most people
taking it for the team.
I don't have numbers on this, but I'm going to be anecdotally kind of sure.
Okay.
Most companies that say things like 250 calls a day, like your example, they are basing it off of historic information. Right. We're looking at what activity was like the first year, 2 years of our business. This is about how many calls a day it takes. It's a numbers game to have enough volume to hit 1 or 2 where you could have that kind of talk time that you were describing. I can appreciate that. I genuinely can. What I'm thoughtful about, though, is how prescriptive is that to performance. And if we're using software now to tell us the prescription is this and this only, that's like
recipe. I don't like saying prescription. That sounds like you're trying to cure something. I like recipe.
We'll say recipe if that makes you feel better.
Potato recipe.
I
mean, chicken soup is a prescription.
But if that's the expectation, and I'm going to come back to what Joe was sharing a while ago, if that's the expectation, then clearly explain it, as opposed to just saying to someone who sits in the seat, you better be making 250 calls a day.
Now you're talking about management skills, because it's the same thing with metrics and KPIs.
Yes.
And we'll say, do this. You're supposed to do this. And the thing is, the challenge is when they're unsure of what their actual job is, and they don't know how they fit into that role. What makes me upset is the one who's making 150 calls a day, and they do it consistently for a year. And at the end of that year, you have to let them go because they didn't meet their numbers. And they're like, but my number was 150 calls a day. And they didn't understand. Like, there were people that would just dial, hang up, hang up.
Yes. Yes.
Not the goal. And
right.
I think that's what the challenge is. If you're going to be monitoring and doing the surveillance, it should have a goal at the end. What do you hope? What's the outcome? How is this going to benefit an organization? Is this going to help productivity? Is this going to help? Now we already know, and you should be working with HR because you're going to have a psychological safety hit. And that's the thing that pisses me off about these companies. Implement it, sure. But now me, from an HR perspective, have to deal with people with infighting, backbiting, jockeying for position, and trying to prove that they have more keystrokes makes them a better person. And so we're not actually getting to the business of whatever the mission is for the organization.
And that's right. And so totally agree. And so this type of dialogue, I don't know, I think companies need to get good at expectation management of a communication strategy, because it's just too easy to say, never mind, we're just going to buy this software and that's going to tell us whether you're
tell us what to do.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing, like, this is one of the things that it had, this active track. It says capture behavioral activity, including hours worked, schedule adherence, location, policy, compliance, and app and website usage. Then analyze productivity trends, the utilization to make data-informed decisions on resource allocation. Oh my God. And then optimize team performance, benchmarks, goal tracking, AI coaching recommendations to improve workforce productivity. Ain't nobody doing it.
Well, number one, 1/3 of what you just described is a manager's job.
actual. Oh no, they're going to get watch. We already talked about this last week with the middle managers. Like in come the robots.
Beep bop boop. Here's what you're doing wrong. It's like it is. But you hear and I love that you just did this. Like your TMJ is acting up because you're saying so many words.
Mouth mush. I mean, it's like stop.
It sounds good. It sounds good.
So Missy, the vaporware is legit. It is like so
sounds good.
And you know AI
words.
And they use it's color.
Claude wrote that whole thing, just so everybody knows. Claude.
It's and, like, what are you going to do with this?
And I think that when we start to get to a place, which I think actually we're there, where you're deciding the worth of an individual is purely and only found in 1, 2, 3 metrics. That's really it. There are people who have come. I mean, some of you could tell your stories. You came into a position, you weren't 100% maybe for the position. You didn't know all the things that you needed to know when you started. What's the ramp up? For some of you, you got it in 2 weeks and you were good to go. Some of you, it took 2 months. You were a steady climb to get really good at the work that you were asked to do. Well, if I didn't have the sort of latitude to be able to wait the 2 months to watch you incrementally, slowly, but incrementally moving towards mastery, then I may have been forced to have to get rid of you because these metrics in 30 days say, kick Jackye to the curb. She ain't going to make it. Claude's telling me she doesn't have it. And now if I just waited another month, you would have hit your stride. Things would have been wonderful. We're going to give up on people. We're going to give up on people.
I'm looking at this report that they had, and it talked about an increase in productive hours being 6 hours a day, right? An increase of efficiency, but then a 46% increase in Saturday work hours and a 23% rise in disengagement. It's like, wait, that's an alarm. What are you doing? Like, it doesn't say anything, just talking about productivity and efficiency and not about mental health. And like, if you see a 43% increase in Saturday working, they don't talk about, there's a paranoia attached to that. Like, are we also seeing a decrease in how are their children? Are we doing a survey of the children? How do they feel about daddy's work now that he's...
What about the children? What about the children?
The pets? How are we going down in relationship engagement and an increase in work engagement?
I would like to believe that we still are multi-layered enough that a software like this, decisions like Meta is making, is one piece of what's being evaluated to determine someone's productivity, someone's performance.
If you can't figure it out,
I don't know if I believe it, but
you can't even, you don't even if they tell, this is the problem. If managers were actually managing, they're going to get the data and say, thanks. Because they don't know what to do with that.
Well, here's this is why we're having all these AI issues. Let me just tell you what managers are going to do by and large. They're going to get that list. They're going to have whatever, 15 people, and there's a line. Everybody below the line is in red. So you got 3 people in red.
Yep.
See ya. That's what's going to happen. They're going to say, oh, these 12 are above the line. Whew. These 3 we're going to let's start our separation process.
And listen,
so now this software is making decisions.
3%. Okay, 3%, bottom 3%. These are the people we suggest at Active Track.
Yeah. We're not telling you to.
We're not saying
we're giving you a dashboard that puts them in red and flashes and says, these people are sucking your will to live.
This is the thing that you going to your point where it's like, is it going to say, oh, is it going to show you the exception? And who gets to make that determination?
Yeah.
And how, like,
and I get that we have to perform. I get it. It's very hard to
But
be in a product or service business and not make money. I
but
understand that.
the thing is, there's always people, the soul of the company, right?
That
That you
too.
have to put in there to think that, like, I feel like there's always been that person at work that is the soul of the company that also like did it, that worked at least 25% less than everybody else because they like floated through the office passing out cookies and making everybody's spirits.
Somebody come pass cookies out here. Come to Vero Beach. Somebody come pass these cookies
You don't
around
need
here.
no damn cookies.
Nobody's out. Well, I need the carob chip cookies. They're the ones that I can eat. Nasty.
They're disgusting. Eat rocks.
Nasty.
Mm-mm.
That lie. That's another lie.
Carob is not nowhere near.
Nowhere near. It looks like it in certain angles, but
Raisin.
that's about it.
It's
Don't
a
taste
raisin
like
instead of
it.
a chocolate chip. Don't do it.
And let me also say, while we're on this,
Oh,
stop telling me things are no sugar, and then have 4 grams of sugar alcohol. Let
yes.
me tell you this. First of all, sugar alcohol does, my body does not like sugar alcohol.
No.
It does not like it. It does not respond well. But because your thing says no sugar, I think, oh, I don't want sugar, so it's good. But meanwhile, you put 4 or 5 grams of sugar alcohol in it. That's a problem. Stop lying.
Problem. Don't
Stop
lie to
lying.
me. Can we just stop? That's what we need to add to the end of our show. Can we just stop with that? Can we just stop at conferences? No more 3 in a line, 2. If you're in a group, you get between the 2 people. Stop conversations like this.
And let me tell you something. I will tell you, if you're in an airport and you have a like a family, you're all walking, stop walking 6 across with a stroller and
pick up your damn kid.
You cannot walk 6 across. You are blocking traffic both ways. You are slow as molasses.
That's right.
Get out of the way. 2 by 2. Be just like Noah's Ark. 2 by 2, y'all.
So and we're speaking to you, Orlando Airport, ORL. The kids and the mom is like, Timmy, Johnny, and they're running through. Get your kid.
Orlando is 4 kids. They're going to Disney. They're going to Universal. Buy the child leashes. Yes. Buy the leash for the airport. I don't care if that's the only place you use it.
Them free.
You have to.
Mickey's
if it's not a leash,
they're running
something.
around. They had a big
buy
bag.
some trash bags together. Whatever you need to do.
Do it. Get the bed sheets. Tear them up. They put it in the budget. Tie it to that kid.
Pull that child right next to you. And don't, the airport is not the time to let little Jimmy express himself. Put him in the stroller. I don't care if he's screaming his head off. Let him know. Scream one more time and you'll never eat again.
Yeah.
That's what you tell him.
That guy over there, that's going to be your new dad.
You will never have a chicken. That man over there.
You want him as your daddy? Then you best shut your mouth.
You will never have chicken nuggets again.
Teacher was just talking about how I used to backhand him at the mall for some other kid.
What?
I would see some kid like jumping off a ledge on a fountain, and I would be like, if you walk over there, because you know how kids look at other kids and they're like, oh, this must be the. I would grab him by the neck. I swear to God, you jump off that fountain, it'll be your last day.
Let me tell you something. First of all, Joe. Yeah, you darn right. You back away from this. Look at Joe. Square your shoulders, slow down or stop so you physically knock into them. That's what I do. Listen. Look at him. Look at Joe squaring up. He's ready to go.
Square up.
I'm telling you.
He's no joke.
Joe is no joke, y'all. Travel with Joe. I do think that, I mean, all this aggression, right? You feel all this because you're like, everybody is so on edge about so many things, right? And so some of it's environmental at work, environmental at the airport, environmental wherever. We're so on edge.
That's the thing that we talked about last week. And if you were able, I hope you were able to see our recording last Friday. I thought it was cute.
At work, human, how fun. And by the way, I have I'm having tea today with my manatee. My manatee tea diffuser. Isn't that right? And that was from work.
Gave me the manatee socks from Work Human. Because I had it was hot the last day and all I had were these compression socks. I'm like, I'm gonna sweat so badly. She gave me her little manatee socks.
I got the manatee socks. They're cute. They're
Yes.
cute. Yes. But we had a great episode. I'm sorry that it didn't upload the way that it needed to on the
I
time,
just
but
took
we got it
forever.
done.
It took forever. But I mean, it was a great week. But the thing that we talked about, usually we see more help at Work Human for the current status of things. This way, I don't know how anybody would be able to do it. I think that we did cover it because there was so much discussion of psychological safety and how to implement it, but it wasn't pushed out as a theme. Like, let's smash this together. This is what we're experiencing, and this is why. And I think it's because it's not as clear. I don't think it's as cut and dry, right? Women are feeling one thing, men are feeling one thing, people of color this, different groups this. I think there's a lot of uncertainty in different ways.
But it's interesting, right? So Jackye and I got to hang out there, and I got to do a session on mistake recovery, because there's this fear of, like, you look at these monitoring things we're talking about, this fear of how many mistakes am I allowed to make, especially as I'm learning or trying things. You tell me to be innovative, and then it doesn't work, and now I'm in trouble because I was innovative and the thing I was trying just didn't work. That room was full. I'm glad you said what you just said. Full of people, which was a blessing. But I just mean men, women, different backgrounds, persons of color, like people are ages, people experiencing this still. It's not just the 23-year-old who's like, I'm nervous with my first job. There was the 60-year-old in there saying, I am nervous about mistakes that I might make at work. I don't know how far trust goes anymore. And it could be the reason that they're looking to get rid of me, the next mistake that I made. So it was really fascinating to see that room.
Yeah. I mean, I just feel like there's a lot, going through a lot, and it doesn't make sense. And also, we need to do a better job of educating ourselves. The information is there. But tap into your resources and, like, let's explore some of this together. I know we're going to talk about different things through the year of making sure what you should be thinking about in HR. It's May, we're going up to that season. People are going to be off work. This is the season that you see two things: a lot of people taking off work, people mad because people are taking off work, marriages, graduations, babies being born. I feel that March.
It's gotta be May.
It's gonna be May.
First of all, though, it's May. Just say that out loud. What? How is it May already?
I have no idea.
If something's wrong, I think AI messed the calendar up. It can't be May already. It's unbelievable to me.
I saw a video. It was George Bush, Obama, and they were all dancing. There is a video out if y'all haven't seen it, and it's so funny. It was like explaining AI to my mom, and it had this video, and she was like, there's a roller coaster, don't take it. It shoots you right across the Grand Canyon. They're like, that's not real. And she's like, I saw it. It's real. I saw it. I saw the video.
There's so much. I mean, we didn't even get to, there's a million things that we could keep talking about, but I would say, and part of this is because I just saw, those of you who are out in the West Coast, Prim is one of those towns in Nevada that, in the middle of nowhere, a little ghost town, but they have a casino and all the things, and people visit. Mesquite is one of those places. Prim is one of those places.
Never heard of Prim.
And they just announced that the casino, the primary employment, they just gave their 60-day warn notice, and they're shutting down. And so this entire town is now going to be decimated with that closing. And so I say this to say, we really are in a very unique time where all of these environmental factors are forcing us to have to look at what our next steps are going to be. And next steps may not be 5 years away. It could be 5 weeks away.
It is.
That's how quickly things are moving.
Listen, we have pulled, when you're determined when you are dependent on a single entity, can make or break not just your family, a whole freaking town.
A whole town.
It used to be, oh, you can do the hard work, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, but you are dependent on these organizations. And that's why you have to educate yourself on things like this and see, not to be afraid, but educate to find out what it means and then make those decisions for yourself. And it's all there. You saying that on the program that I'm building, who do I work for? The warn notices are there because you should see when you start looking at it, there's patterns. It's like, wait, they do layoffs every year? Yeah. The company that you interviewed for today is already planning on laying people off in a couple of months.
Verizon. Every year.
Every year. And so educate yourself. Those things, like, you can look at the industries, look at the patterns. And another thing quickly, a lot of people say, oh, I am in HR at warehouses, or I do HR tech, or I do this. You can use your art in other industries. Start exploring other places.
Yes.
Because I do think that there's going to be, I mean, a lot of it's going to be dependent on the metrics and AI or whatever that they.
I'm so sorry. You said quickly. I was like, why you got to be quick? I didn't even realize we're over time. Sorry.
We are done.
Please make sure that you follow, like us on all the platforms. Make sure you're sharing with others. We love the live audience. Thank you all for being here. We love sharing your thoughts and comments. Those of you who watch after the fact, we love you too. Keep sharing this on all your social media platforms, making sure that people know how they can watch this anytime. Just won't be live.
And say HR Trail. Don't get dysentery.
Dysentery, y'all. What'd I say to you? I only deal in feet, baby. Okay, everybody have a great day.
That is the shirt. Clink.
Bye.
Eat my ass.